What's up, everybody? It's Will Hirsch here, and I just wanted to make another video. You guys said that you like... Look, Ballyfloor taught me that one. Oh, shit. Can't do it with the live blade, though. But he taught me this trick, and basically, I wanted to go over another story video since the last one did so well, and people enjoyed it so much. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And you guys might think that some of these stories are, like, not real because of how crazy they are, but I just want you to remember that the town that I live in at one time used to be the crackhead capital of the world. So, or that's what they say. And so it's not so hard to believe that that would be true. But with that being said, let me get into the story. So for those of you that don't know, I used to work in a car dealership. I had gone to college for a while, and I came into this town planning to go to college because I received a very large scholarship. But I ended up just deciding at some point that I wasn't doing the work, and so I decided to drop out and sell cars. Oops, the wind would pick up right now. Sorry about the wind if you can hear it or whatever. And so what I ended up doing was just moving into going with this dealership that was local, and for me, it just seemed like the right answer. But after working there for a while, which I have a lot of crazy stories from this place, but yeah, after working there a while, I just realized that it wasn't right for me, and I have an even funnier story about how I had ended up quitting. But for this story, so they have these things where, have you ever gotten one of those mailers that's like, oh yeah, you just won a car, or you just won like $50,000 from the dealership, and wonder what that's about? Well, what it is the dealership actually hires a third party that comes in and brings other salesmen, like ones that do not work for the dealership, and has them like come in and do their like little thing. They send out all these mailers, and then right around the time where the mailers would be received in the mail and people start showing up at the dealership to claim their prize, these other salesmen will show up and start selling cars to people. And not only do they have their own financiers, like for each dealership they have their own banks that they finance with. That's why you're able to get some deals at some dealerships and other deals at other dealerships. And basically, this was basically one of those situations where they had their own financiers, they had their own setup and everything. And so it was just kind of like they would come in and try to like one up the dealership, but it was also just a way for the dealership to make money. Because like the salesmen are salesmen, but the dealership makes money no matter what sales get made. So in a way, it's kind of like the dealership turning their back on their salesmen. And but anyways, all that's to say that those people showed up. They showed up to our dealership. And they were actually kind of cool. They were like grimy, like New York people. Like I'm from Texas, and so here, like a lot of the salesmen are like Southern hospitality. You know, let's get you in something that's going to be good for your family. And the people that ended up showing up were like, they were like, you gonna buy it or not, huh? You know, they were like really aggressive. They're like, listen, this deal's only gonna be lasting for a little while, so I'd recommend that you do it. You're gonna regret it if you don't, you know, like these types of people. So it was interesting to see the types of characters that came around. And along with that came like the territory of just being like, you know, super aggressive and trying to get sales so that I could, you know, outpace them. Because if these guys beat us, are like, it's funny because they bring in these people that have all these mailers and all these better financiers, but all of our sales managers were like, you guys cannot get beat by these guys or we will probably fire you. So so I'm in here trying to get as much sales as I can, and all of the other people are trying to get as much sales as they can. And so what I ended up doing was making friends with them, so that any additional sales they had or whatever, like they wouldn't try to skate me. And skating in this car industry is just when you have like a deal and somebody ends up taking from your deal, or taking your deal while you're gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you go to get a glass of water or something and they start talking to your people, and then they're like, well, you should be in this vehicle instead. It's pretty insane, but they would skate all these people, but if you made friends with them, they wouldn't, I noticed. And so I tried to go out with them one night, and here's where the story pretty much begins. I thought it would be just kind of cool, just kind of like a little hangout. They were in a nearby hotel, so I went to go hang out at the hotel. And I was kind of cool with like a lot of them. So they felt kind of comfortable around me. And what happened was I went down near to where they were at. And when I got to the tables that they were sitting at outside the hotel, which it's already late at night, mind you, they were doing like hard drugs, like some crackhead type drugs, if that helps you kind of conceptualize what was going on. And I was like kind of freaked out. I didn't know like what to do in that type of situation because I was still young, mind you. Like, I dropped out of college to do this, so I'm probably like 18, 19 at the time because I graduated high school at 17. And so in my mind, I'm just thinking, what can I do to get out of the situation? What can I do to get out of the situation? And so they're there doing all that. The crack dealer's there, or you know, whatever they're doing is there. And I start seeing that there's like people starting to like surround us, and like these like weird cars. And I know this shit sounds like it's not real, but I swear on my life that this is a real story. So the people that are around us start getting closer and closer, and then I realize that they're police. And so I'm sitting here with all these people on a random night. I didn't do anything wrong, and I'm sitting here with all these people doing hard drugs, and the police are nearby, right? The cop gets out of the car, pulls up to where we're at, and he's basically like, hey, I received a call that something was going on here. So what's going on? And these guys, like slicker than Slick Rick, pull all of their stuff like into their pockets and start talking to the guy like if they're not geeking out. And they're like, hey, yeah, like we don't know, somebody said something happened, and the cop's like, you know what, it actually was a unanimous report that there was somebody here causing trouble, and we hadn't noticed up until this point, but there was a crackhead on the roof terrace above us. So we're sitting on this bench, and there's like kind of like a pool / terrace thing next to us, and there's a crackhead there, and that's who the call was about. And he was like passed out, like like passed all the way out, like kind of like you know how like people are kind of like far gone? He was like far gone, and he was passed out there on that top little terrace thing. And when they woke him up, he almost fell off of the terrace. But all of this was a distraction from what was really going on, which was that the people around me could have like seriously ruined my life, and for no reason. So that's kind of like the moral of the story is like, watch who you hang out with. Even when you think people are cool, if you don't know somebody, you should be weary, because things can always happen that will just like completely affect your life, and you do not need that, trust me. So that was kind of that story. But yeah, pretty insane. Probably one of the scarier nights of my life. But yeah, let me know if you guys want to hear more car dealership stories. I have tons of crazy things that have happened to me while I was doing all the car stuff. So it's one of those things where more often than not, there's going to be some sort of wacky thing that happened to me. So I guess that's all I have for this video. Rock on.